Thanks very much, Greg. Yeah, it was great to have you down on site. We're all pretty excited about what we just accomplished down there this summer. And yeah, I'll dive right into it. I will be making forward-looking statements. So as Greg mentioned, this is the land package that we've managed to assemble pretty much throughout 2021. That was our kind of building year. Putting these three projects together in the heart of the Cortez Trend, it's no small feat for a company of our size. So we've accumulated 40 square kilometers now. It is a fully contiguous land package, but we do like to think of it as three separate projects, mostly because of the stage of development that each one is at. Toiyabe is our most advanced. We have drill permits. We have a plan of operations there, which allows for more than enough disturbance. We could build pretty much an unlimited amount of pads with the amount of disturbance that we have from the BLM. So that is our most advanced. There has been historical drilling. There's a small historical resource there, 173,000 ounces at a grade of 1.2 grams per ton. That's not the big prize for us, but what it does tell us is that there is gold there, there's a system there. We think it's the smoke of a potentially much larger prize underneath. Turquoise Canyon is not quite pure greenfield, but it's never seen a drill hole before, which in Nevada is pretty shocking, especially when we dove into the geologic characteristics that are trending over from Toiyabe onto Turquoise Canyon. We say, how's this never been drilled before? So we're really excited to be the first company that will ever put a drill hole into Turquoise Canyon. And then East Saddle, we actually staked that ourselves. We had our eye on it for a while, and an oil and gas company dropped those claims, and we picked that up. There's exposed carbonate window at surface, which is the really favorable host rock. That's what they're mining over in Cortez and Cortez Hills. So we're in the right rock, and we picked that up pretty much as cheap as you can, which is staking it yourselves. Just kind of looking in at who our immediate neighbors are. Like I said, 40 square kilometers. The guys around us are all the big boys, right? So we have the Barrick, NGM, there's a bit of Anglo. SSR Mining is to the north and to the south of us. And Waterton, a private equity company that I actually used to work for. That's the little green dot to the green package to the northeast there. So really good neighbors. We've run into a bunch of people at site. You know, they're poking around, they're interested in what we're doing, they're aware, we're having conversations with them. So, you know, we're the new kid on the block, but we've been making a lot of noise and people are paying attention. We actually just recently, a couple weeks ago, announced a new property, two new properties that we picked up on the Colin Trend. So why we like these, it's pretty much the same story as what we have on the Cortez Trend. Right up against NGM, on trend, well understood. You can see there we're only 10 kilometers away from Gold Strike. So in a good market, you would not be able to pick up this type of land on the Colin Trend. We're bear market pricing, so we're really happy with what we managed to accomplish here, because it's 600,000 shares, a royalty, and a refund on the company's BLM payments. That's what we scooped it up for. So this is going to be non-core for us, but there's a lot of early stage work that we can do to pretty this up. We'll own them 100%, and we'll likely look to JV, spin out, etc. It just gives us a presence on one of the most storied gold trends in the world. Actually, you can see Greg in this picture if you look close enough. These are our technical advisors. So company our size, you know, 5-6 million market cap, we've managed to put together a really strong team. We brought some people out of retirement, and that's really just on the function of what they saw. They got excited and said, how can I get involved? So Steve Kaler, he's probably our most active technical advisor. He's made 11 Carlin type discoveries throughout his career. He was most recently with GSV, Gold Standard Ventures. But importantly, he was part of the Cortez Hills discovery, the big Barrick mine that's only 10 kilometers away from us. And he sees, he thinks that we compare favorably. Obviously, a lot more early stage. But that's what he loves. The guys have been out to site multiple times, kicking rocks, doing modeling, doing detailed mapping, and they're very excited about what they see. Richard Bedell, also a very well-known Nevada geologist, made the Long Canyon discovery in the early 2000s, which ended up being bought by Newmont. And Chris Osterman sold for Turquoise Canyon to First Mining. So he's really excited. That's kind of been his baby, and nobody's ever drilled it. And he was really happy to see, okay, this company's finally going to do something with this asset.
Colin, are you sure I'm in there? I don't think I'm in there.
Oh yeah, you are.
Oh,
you can only see your back though. So
Oh.
this is our capital structure. Greg chatted about this before. We're about 70 million shares out today. I think we're closed at 7.5 or 8 cents. What's interesting is, or not interesting, it's a little bit depressing, or you can see it as hope for the future. You can buy shares now at the same price that we did our very first private round seed round at. Obviously, that was the story's evolved immensely since then. It's been 3 years since that happened, but you can get it at same entry point that that we got in at, and a lot of our biggest shareholders got in at. Management, directors, advisors, by far the largest non-retail shareholder group. We collectively own just over 22% of the company. We're all incredibly incentivized and aligned with our shareholders. So this is what we inherited in terms of the legacy drilling, and it got our attention for a couple main reasons. In Carlin-type gold systems, what you want to see is generally high-grade structures near surface, and then that proverbial disseminated sea of gold at depth. And based on the relogging and all the work that we've done, we actually inherited the physical core samples and the RC samples, so we've done a lot of work on that. Indications that this system can produce very high grades. You'll see, I don't want to rattle off every intercept, but some of them, up to 13 grams per ton. And then lower at depth, not very many holes went deep enough to test this, but we're seeing the sniffs of the 40, 50, wide zones at depth that can produce gram plus material. Interestingly, down there it's also oxidized. So when you say oxidation at 1,000 feet or 300 meter depth, that speaks to how powerful the system is. So we just completed our first drill campaign. What you see there in yellow is the historical resource, 173,000 ounces. And you can see we didn't really go anywhere near that. We were fairly aggressive. We stepped out, testing a bunch of blind targets and new theories that we developed through all the historical relogging and all the work that we've done between our VPX, Dave Browning, who's here, and our technical advisor, our technical advisory committee. So I'm not going to go through all the results. They're available. We put out a press release, fairly detailed, but the most important thing for us was that zone between that old mine you see, which is the Toiyabe Saddle past producing mine, and the resource. Amazingly, there had been no drilling in that area before. So we started to fill in the gaps, and what we noticed was this planar feature, the kind of deep disseminated area extends 250 meters. So we did a 250 meter step out, and we hit 50 meters plus of 0.34 grams per ton. And you might not think that that's significant in terms of grade, but seeing a 50 meter thick zone 250 meters away from the last known hole to hit that same zone where we expected to hit it, now you can start filling in the gap, and then you can quickly start thinking about, this has million ounce plus potential just through filling that out. That kind of gray outline, that's the area there's been no historical drilling beyond 125. So that's our blue sky here. We're going to start stepping out to the northeast. There's indications just based on the historical holes that grade will increase to get closer to the feeder structure. This is kind of a cross section that shows that, and you can see to the right of the page, moving northeast, there's really no drilling. So we really want to get back in there as soon as we can. Obviously market dependent, but we want to get back. And what we want to do is probably get the best of both worlds. So expand that deeper zone to the northeast, but also confirm some of those really high-grade hits. Obviously, when you start thinking about economics, the higher grade material can really contribute in a big way to a resource down the road. And this is all taking us to Turquoise Canyon. Everything's trending in that direction. There's never been a drill hole there. Previous operators would have just run up against their property boundary and not been able to move anymore. But having consolidated these two properties now is looking like a stroke of good luck and some foresight. So we are definitely moving towards first drill holes at Turquoise Canyon this year, and a more aggressive 2023 drill campaign at Toiyabe. And that's Westward in a nutshell. Thank you very much.